Lesson 1-7, negative and zero exponents. So we're going to take what we learned in the last lesson and we're going to continue a little bit further on with what can happen when sometimes you get answers that are negative or zero exponents and what you should do. The first thing I want to show you is something called the zero exponent property. And the zero exponent property says that any, and I'm going to use a variable a for just to represent any number. Doesn't matter what it is, negative, positive, anything, variable, anything. Anything raised to the zero power, so anything that has a zero exponent, automatically turns into the number 1. That means whatever is raised to the zero power completely goes away and it just replaces itself with a 1. So for a few examples, and this should be very simple because it's very straightforward, if I had 1 to the 0 power, that's equal to 1. If I had negative 7 to the 0 power, that is equal to 1. If I had a decimal like 0.5 to the 0 power, that is equal to 1. And if you put that in your calculator, it's still going to tell you that it's equal to 1, so it would work by putting it in your calculator. But that's a property that you don't even have to put in your calculator. It's an automatic. You always know it's equal to 1. Okay? The next thing I want to show you is what happens when you get a negative exponent. So, if you get, and I'll show you how this can happen sometimes. If you are doing a problem, let's say for example, you have a division problem, 4 to the 3rd divided by 4 to the 5th power. Well, we learned in the last lesson that when you divide powers that have the same base, then you keep the base, 4, and you subtract exponents. And you have to subtract left to right. So in this case, 3 minus 5 is negative 2. So there are occasions when you get an exponent that turns out negative. In that case, what you should always do is rewrite it. And what you do is you take the power that's got the negative exponent, you rewrite it as a fraction, and you put it on the bottom. So basically you're moving it from the top to the bottom, and that turns it positive. And a 1 goes on top as a placeholder. If you wanted to continue simplifying this expression and not leave an exponent, it just depends on what your directions say, but in this case, if my direction said to simplify, I would leave 1 on top, and on the bottom 4 to the 2nd power would be 4 times 4, which is 16. So there are occasions when you do have negative exponents, and that's what you do. Now, if I gave you a problem and I said, write 7 to the negative 3rd. Now, I messed that up. Let me rewrite that. If I said, write 1 over 7 to the negative 3rd with a positive exponent. Okay, then all you would have to do, if you have a negative exponent, remember on the one up above, we said you move it to the bottom of the fraction, it would make it positive. Put a 1 on top as a placeholder. Same thing here. If you have a negative on the bottom of a fraction, you can move it to the top. So it's kind of like you just move it from top to bottom at whichever one you need to make it positive. So in this case, if 7 to the negative 3 is on the bottom, all I do is move it to the top, which when you multiply that by 1, it stays the same. So that would be 7 to the 3rd power. And that would be your answer. So anytime you have a exponent that's negative and it's on the bottom of a fraction, you just move it to the top and make it positive. And that's all you would have to do. All right, I'm going to let you try a few of those using your practice problems and starting your homework.